Today on TheBootGuy, we're talking about Wood N Streams by Thorogood. This is the INTS 8001 insulated, waterproof, beautiful 8-inch boot. So the 8001, well, it's a hunting boot. Technically, it fits all the criteria for a hunting boot. But at the same time, something that's built like this is an excellent winter work boot. Especially when you think about when the ground is frozen and it's just super cold out, you need something that's going to keep you warm and still remain to be flexible. Now, Wood N Streams by Thorogood, well, they maintain that flexibility through a few key components that they build into this boot. One of those is the leather sew-down welt. And it's just not a single piece all the way around, but they actually use the second part of the heel cup for more stability, and they stitch it down into the welting section. The second part is this Littlehorn Vibram sole. This is a little bit softer than what we normally see from Vibram, but this is going to work a heck of a lot better in the really cold months. Now, the Littlehorn is built from two very specific components here. It's the Vibram rubber that's a little bit harder but still soft enough that it won't freeze and get hard when it's cold. And then there's the dual density sandwich layer right there between the welt and that hard layer, and it's pretty thick. And it also continues up here through the forefoot, so it's going to be a little bit more bounce and energy return. Now, the beautiful part about building a boot like this, where you do this very heavy welting all the way around, is that you stand inside the sole. So you're always going to be comfortable, especially when you have to stand in one single place for a long time. So whether you're standing in a deer stand 4 or 5 hours just waiting for that buck to come by, or if you're an electrician who got put out there on Christmas light duty, something like this is going to be a perfect boot for you. Now, if you've noticed the color, it's dark brown mixed with this beautiful hunter green CORDURA. And it's also insulated, 440 grams of Thinsulate, which is a really nice amount of insulation. This plus one pair of wool socks is probably going to carry you down to about 0 if you're working in it, if you're moving around. Now, if you're standing around, like I said, bucket truck or deer stand, at about 20 degrees or below, you're probably going to want to wear one pair of wool socks and a polypropylene liner just to get some of the moisture away and just to create a few more layers in order to trap that heat. Now, since it is a hunting boot, it does come with odor control. Now, that doesn't mean that you can have stinky feet. It's more for hunting. It's more to keep down the natural human odor and not spread it around downwind for, the bucks or whatever you're hunting so they don't smell you. The lining, well, it's the beautiful AZTEC premium lining. This is a really nice liner inside. It's soft, it's lofty. It feels good when it's a little sweaty, unlike some of the other more harsh liners that they put in winter boots. This AZTEC liner actually feels softer the more you wear it and the more you break it in. It becomes like an old flannel shirt. Inside here, you're going to find a single density urethane insole. But remember, we're talking about winter boots here. We're not talking about summer, running around, digging hole type boots. We're talking about a hunting boot that can be used as a work boot. So you don't really need a lot of this. You don't need a big cushion inside there. You just need something that's going to absorb a little bit of the impact as you're jumping in and out of the truck. And having this Vibram sole, that mixed with this, really makes for a really comfortable boot. Now, the boot is waterproof, as you can imagine. When you build a winter hunting boot or a winter work boot, depending on which world you're playing in, you're going to want it to be waterproof, and it's a waterproof membrane. So that means it's built into the boot. Now, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be treating the leather. The leather should always be treated with oil, especially when you have a leather sew-down welt. You should keep this thing pretty oiled up if you want to have this boot for a year or 2 or maybe 3. Now, for you hunters out there, they coated it with Scotchgard. The whole boot is Scotchgarded. So if you're working in it, means it's going to keep more salt off. If you're hunting in it, that means when you get a little splashback from a field dressing, that whatever falls on your boot is going to wipe off or hose off a lot easier than something that's not. Size and fit is dead on. If you wear a 10, you can buy a 10. The only thing you really got to be aware of is the width that you're going to need. If you have a foot that's more like a flipper, go with the wide. But if you got a real narrow foot, you're going to have to try these on because the mediums are still running a little bit on the wide side. They are a true D width if you're going to do it in leather measurements. Sizes, they make it from 8 to 14, so they really cover the gamut on this boot. So that's the Wood N Streams by Thorogood, INT series number 8001, insulated, waterproof, with a beautiful Vibram sole. If you've worn any of these Wood N Stream boots, please comment below. If you're wearing them for hunting, comment below. Let guys know what you think about the boot when you're using it in a real world application like that. If you're using Wood N Streams as a work boot, please comment below. Let guys know which model you're wearing and how the soles are holding up to the work environment. Hey, if you want to know more about this boot or anything in the INT series from Wood N Streams by Thorogood, swing by TheBootGuy.com. There I'll have detailed photos of this boot and a few other numbers that are really interesting in their line. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. It really helps out. And if you should have any questions about buying hunting boots or work boots about size and fit, please shoot me over an email. All right, until the next time, I'm the Boot Guy. Thanks a lot for watching. I can't believe I just said biological waste.